This week on RSBANDB Update, it's Slayer Week with Profane Scabarites. We discuss mechanics, accuracy, the spectral lens, and weird drop tables. Our accuracy checks now on the menu. Also, the 2025 Premier Club refresh, a look at Premier value, and the latest on Group Ironman. This is RSBANDB Update, episode 1011, recorded Thursday, November 7th, 2024. It's all about Carapace. Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of RSBANDB Update. This week, we're in with the Profane Scabarites and 2025 Premier Club, and of course, for that, everybody knows I absolutely love the Slayer skill. I absolutely love it. So I got two people who love Slayer here to help me out with it. Tannis, thank you.
I do love Slayer. It is my favorite.
Yeah. And Perdasius is also here.
Yes, it's still, it's my second favourite now, necromancy. Sorry, archaeology took over that. But being on the Iron Man now, I'm sort of falling back in love with it, especially now I'm out of the sort of low-range Slayer Masters.
Yeah, and of course, for everybody who knows, I was being 100% facetious there about loving Slayer. But more on the Profane Scabarites in just a moment. Thank you to everybody for being here. If you want to follow along, full show notes can be found over at update.show. Join us in-game in the Friends chat at BitsBytes, and the community Discord is over to update.show/Discord. And I would be remiss if I didn't thank our experienced tier Patreon members for helping us get through each and every week. This week, that's Amos Reed, Andrew C., Drama Free, Jason S., Jesse W., Kesky, Lemon Lodge, Ricky A., Rippeth, Runestar, Tevis, The Naked Captain, Tim, and a new arrival this week, Dominic R. Big, huge thank you to all of our experienced tier Patreon members for allowing us to do what we do here. A little bit more later on in the podcast about our Patreon offerings, but let's begin with the Profane Scabarites here. Level 87 Slayer required to kill these critters. They're in a cave that's just north of Polnivniach, and I'll just say that they're very interesting. What are your guys' first initial thoughts on these Slayer creatures?
Yeah, interesting's probably a good way to put it.
Okay, Tannis?
Fine. They're fine.
They're an easy AFK monster for sort of your higher level.
Well, I mean, but that's what gets me. Yes, they are kinda for a higher level, but they're not what I consider a super high level, especially not in a 120 Slayer skill.
They're at 87.
Nah.
They're at 87. Yeah, and we're going to talk about the weirdo loot and the accuracy, man, the defense, I was just a little disappointed that it takes so damn long to kill them.
Okay, yeah, we can go into that. And I think you basically hit the nail on the head of all the interesting bits and bobs about these, because, the accuracy comes up, the loot table comes up, and I think one of the things that first jumped out at people about these creatures is that if you don't have poison protection in the form of the the poison protection you put in a Elder Overload salve or the Venom Blood perk or the aura that protects from poison, you're gonna die because you get hit for poison splats of upwards to 1,000.
Yeah,
I assume based on your reaction that happened to you.
No.
Okay.
I did know about that. So I actually was using Poison Purge so it wouldn't heal me.
Okay. Yeah, fair enough. And what about in general? I mean, I feel like we just look at these things and we just say, yeah, poison, overload cell, aura, or venom blood. And I guess that's probably the reaction that somebody who's maxed would say. And I'm thinking more along the lines of people who are up and coming, just getting, 85, 90 Slayer, going through, doing these, winding up, and, maybe not having the aura, or maybe not having the Venom Blood perk. It's something that could probably catch you off guard a bit. And do you feel that kind of steps in for the unique mechanic that Slayer creatures normally have?
But that's the weird thing about it, because you almost need to be significantly over leveled to be able to do those, not comfortably, but just without dying. You need max to do them comfortably.
What were you running with your setup?
Crypt Bloom.
Okay. Were you running Protect Magic? Or Protect Melee?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, that's interesting.
It's because, well, for me, it's because my DPS is always low, right? Like I don't put out a lot of damage, so when you add that with a prolonged fight, that makes it. That's what does it for me.
Okay. Do you have any idea what your
putting out like high damage?
What your accuracy was hovering at when you were there? The both of you?
Not good. Oh, it was like 50%.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
were you
also good.
What? Okay. What level weapon were you using?
90.
90. Okay.
I was just using my necro gear and basically AFKing, smacking them all. I mean, they were pretty much all dead, and I'd be waiting for them to respawn. So
yeah, I wonder what the disconnect.
I do have venom. I have venom blood on the pants of all my gear though. So I didn't even realize there was a poison thing on them, because everything I have has venom blood on it.
Yeah, because
I'm also using my aura, so I'm losing that spot as well
to boost that up.
Mm-hmm.
And I went in with my full necromancy setup, tier 95 necromancy, and I start out there without popping the overload, and that gets me to 70%, 72% accuracy. Then I pop the overload, run the necromancy prayer, and that brings me up to about 92% accuracy for me. With that.
Is that the highest prayer?
Yeah, well, the tier 95 one, not the tier 99 one.
Yeah, I don't think I got the 95.
Yeah, you should. You just need to go talk to Celine if you have the things like turmoil and whatnot already unlocked, and you get it for free.
Oh, well, that I do have.
Yeah. So you should be able to get that one, no problem.
I was just running protect melee.
Yeah, that's what I did, and I had no issue with it. I went in with an AOE based necromancy setup, and the interesting thing about this, when you move away from the poison and you forget that that's a thing, they are weak to earth spells, so you got that aspect going for you. If you were to go in with magic, I went in with just regular magic, Incite Fear, and my tier 90 wand and tier 88 orb, and I had 85% accuracy.
Okay.
With the overload active. So take that down to 25, 65. Yeah. So folks will know, we're talking a lot about accuracy here, and that's what these creatures do, is that they actually lean heavily into accuracy, because if you look at the card for these Slayer critters, they have 2701 armor, which is actually a higher armor value than Virago. Believe it or not. So
I believe it.
Tier 9, I had another case from Zerdones. He tested Tier 90 Necromancy gear, the Zuck Cape, Soul's Amulet, Occultist Ring, 63% accuracy without Overload, 79% with Elder Overload. So maybe Tannis, maybe that's in the realm of what you were saying, specifically when you factored the magic angle into it and a little bit lower than Tier 90. So, you can also cannon there with the Altac coil.
Oh, don't even.
That had a 63% hit chance. He used Protect from Melee, the Vengeful Ghost, the Burial's Powder, or the Penance, or even something like the Ritual Shard, and it effectively made them AFK using the magic cannon.
PSA. Hey guys, don't be a dick.
Seriously. There's a bunch of people there.
I still think there
worlds,
should be.
Take your little coil, go to another world. Don't be a
I still
dick.
think there should be. You shouldn't be able to use cannons for the first month of a release of a new Slayer monster.
I was over that, Shane. And then you had to remind me.
Yeah, I'm sorry about that. I just had to remind you because I remember how that was a similar issue when the necromancy creatures came out.
It was, yeah. It was for them ghosts.
Yeah.
Yep.
And the Phantom. Yes.
Yep. I mean, I'm lucky that I play on Australian time, so it's sort of a low time for an off-peak time, and even I had to jump a couple of worlds to find one without someone canning them.
Yeah. So, how do you guys feel about the accuracy thing? Just getting back to that.
It's hard for me to make a proper judgment on it because I had no issue, but I am 200 mil Slayer. I had T90 Necro armor. I had the T95 weapons. I have Venom Blood. So they were a very AFK. I got one. I went and forced a Slayer task on it. Got the drop straight away. The spectral lens in that first.
How do you force a Slayer
run.
task on it?
Well, basically, you just keep cancelling with Slayer points until you get it. So, because I've got the Slayer, 120 Slayer cape, you get. I think it's every 5th or 6th one you get to choose your own.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Slayer. So just did it that way. Nice and simple. Went down there, got that. I was disappointed. There's no soul to collect for it, being
what?
No souls for it for the Slayer.
What?
For the Slayer log.
I thought that was supposed to be there for every Slayer creature.
That's what I thought, but not for this one. There's no Slayer soul. There's no pet, which again, level 87, is neither here nor there.
And see, that's the thing. I think that level 87 spot is maybe being a bit deceptive here, because we're coming at this with 120 necromancy. At least I am. The magic side of it as well. If you index into the earth spells,
it feels underleveled. Like it feels like it's a 102 creature.
Oh, interesting.
87.
I was expecting it to be a 100 plus monster. When I saw 87, I thought, but as I said, I mean, it is hard for me to give a proper judgment because, as I have maxed on everything. So I have the Venom Blood perk, I have all that. So it was just in there. I got 74, wiped those out in about 15 minutes, and got the lens drop. So, for what it offers in its other stuff, it is a good source of wood spirits with the
also toad flax seeds.
Yeah.
And white berries. We're going to be there as soon as you guys get 87 Slayer on the irons.
Oh, yeah. As I said, it'll be a great one for my for Ironman, I think, this one. Especially with the new wood cutting rework coming up and such. I think those wood spirits will be very important.
Yeah,
I want to get into
the...
Go ahead, Tannis.
Hold on, Shane. I just want to do this last point real quick.
No, yeah, absolutely. I want to get a last point in too.
Dark Beast and Gano Beast higher than these creatures.
And easier.
And easier. Yeah. I think the accuracy thing is interesting. I think that is the necrolization of RuneScape combat.
Yeah.
And I also think that we went through this phase where everything was 100% accuracy all the time, and it makes things less interesting when it comes to making weapons. And
you went exactly where I wanted to go. I wanted to say that I wanted to say that accuracy needed to start mattering again.
Yeah.
Especially now that we have, not the horrid, you either, hit or you don't hit, and it can scale based on how necromancy does. I think that makes it okay for accuracy to be a thing, because, we had a list before, things that are affected by accuracy in RuneScape, and, boss-wise, you could count that on one hand, and creature-wise for Slayer, well, there was practically none. So I think it's a good thing, if I'm being 100% honest here with that. And
I think
it also opens up for the future, if they keep going down this path, an option to add more horizontal based rewards for, tier 90 magic, tier 90 necromancy, tier 90 ranged, and even melee, what have you, that are in effect accuracy boosters. Because if you look at the game as it is right now, what do we have for accuracy boosters? We have Lord of Bones for necromancy when you do skeletal damage, and we have Sonic Wave, no matter, still, being a very niche product to use, we have Sonic Wave for magic. But when you look at the other styles as well, what else can you do for accuracy in the other combat types and around various levels? So even if these Scabarites don't do anything for us right now on that, I think it opens up the door in the future to create potential interesting reward spaces.
Yeah, like I feel like I'd be having a little bit different of a discussion if these were even like a 98, somewhere between like a 98 to 102.
Yeah.
I just don't feel like 87 was quite the right spot for him.
Yeah, it feels like a 95 plus.
Well, yeah, and you mentioned that. Dark Beasts have 19,000 life points. These have 45,000. And they're 3 levels higher.
Yeah.
And we know what Dark Beasts are good at printing, right, Pern?
Yes, we did the video on that.
So, I mean, maybe this is, like you said, the necromanticization, necromancy influence on all these sort of Slayer things and combat things in general, and we're just going to head that direction going forward, where you can index in to the combat style as is, or you can just use the base affinity, like I chose to do with necromancy, that is going to work against most things. So
I think it makes it more interesting, because then you can get more niche weapons. It's more diversity in it. You can go back to the pointy things, maybe being very accurate and big, heavy swords, less accurate, bigger hits. I don't know. It just...
Oh, hey, Ripper Demon has 33,563 life points. The Armored Phantom is 52k.
Yeah. But even when you look at it, I mean, your base hit chance, if you use Earth spells 90%, melee's 55, rank 45, basic, but there's no affinity against necromancy.
Yeah, so you get the one that's right in the middle. So, it's not going to be as good as using an Earth spell, but it's actually still going to be decent enough. Like what I did.
Oh, more than decent enough. Yeah.
When I went in with magic, I used, like I said, I think I had around 85 accuracy when I was using Incite Fear, but then I switched to a shadow spell, which is Earth based, and shot up past 100, and I didn't even need an aura or anything like that active. Whereas with necromancy, I was able to, peak at 92. So it's a combination of those life points and a combination of that accuracy that it just adds a little bit more finesse, I think, to killing these things. And the question I think that we ask going forward from this, based on the reaction that people have, is that, is this the new thing to do for Slayer creatures going forward on the accuracy side? And is there a time and place to go back and balance out all of the other Slayer creatures out there to be affected by accuracy in this similar way? At least the higher level ones.
Yeah, well, not just Slayer creatures, right? Like
maybe bosses too.
Yeah.
But see, they did that with Sanctum, so you presume that's going to be happening going forward. But you know how people get when they try and change their bosses, right?
I was going to say,
true.
if you...
That's true. Mm-hmm.
You'll have a lot of upset people if you start playing with what they've done.
What do you think the XP per hour is at these? Maybe 500-ish, give or take?
At best. Yes.
Yeah, in the best case scenario. Does that sound about right to you, Pern?
Yeah, I mean, again, as a high level, easily. But if we take them at that 87 level and people going in there at that, I would probably look at, maybe 250, 300.
Which isn't that great in modern RS, is it?
No, but don't forget to can grab them from Simona, and you can get them on a
cluster task from Laniakea.
Yeah.
Yep. I do like the fact that the cave is divided into sections, so if someone is sort of camping one spot, you're not fighting, you just move down to the next one. I think that was a good...
until Napoleon shows up with his fucking artillery!
Yeah. I mean, if someone's already there fighting, you should not be allowed to drop a cannon on them. That pisses me off, yeah. All you cannoneers out there.
Okay, so with that, the weirdness doesn't end there. It's also the drop tables.
Table's weird. It's almost like Jagex had data, and they saw that they needed a new source of certain things coming in.
Let's talk about the spectral lens first for the Slayer helmet. 1 in 512 on task, 1 in 4096 not on task. So you got spooned there, Pern, even on your first task.
Yeah,
1 in 512.
I went and did an hour there last night off task just to see what they were like. That was easy enough, and then I just went and forced a Slayer task today. So, I think 1 in 512 on task. So I like when they do better on task than off task. So you're sort of not camping them.
That's good.
So, I love when they do that type of thing. So kudos to them for that one.
So the interesting part about this increases necromancy damage by 7.5% and necromancy accuracy by 12.5% against your current Slayer target. So with that pushes my necromancy damage and accuracy on these, if I had this as part of my Slayer helmet, to 100% with the tier 95 set. And you're getting very close with the tier 90s.
That's what I wanted to bring up. So the drop rate of this and not getting it in the task, I was like, do I really need it? But then
you do,
I was thinking,
because
accuracy,
it is at least an extra 12.5% accuracy if you are not already capped.
Yeah. So
and that accuracy translates directly into damage these days. And then you got the 7.5 as the cherry on top.
Yep. And that has always been traditionally, the thing about
that they do for those add-ons. So it's something that you want.
Yeah, I mean, it was something that I wanted, but I was like, but damn, usually you get it in a task. I usually get it in the task. I mean,
yeah. Interestingly enough, you have to imbue it to be able to have it be taken on by the Slayer helmet, which is, I think, is a unique use of the necromancy rituals. So, I mean, it's something everybody's going to get eventually when they finish their Slayer helmets. Emphasis on when they finish their Slayer helmets. Yes, I am 120 Slayer out there. I have not finished my Slayer helmet yet.
Shane's a weirdo.
I'm about 160 odd points away from being able to do that. Just not my skill. I did it with dummies. Anyways,
Slayer for dummies.
Yeah, that's exactly it. Other drops on here. I'm gonna just run down the list and let's go through these things that somebody decided we needed to have in the economy. Jade amulet, jade ring, uncut jade. I think those ones are interesting, in particular as to
that I don't get.
Well,
that I don't get.
Again, with the reworks coming up of certain skills, I'm wondering if they're doing, if they're getting these in preparation for that.
Well, the jade amulet makes a botanist amulet
at the moment, but is it going to do something else?
I mean, I don't think they'd completely change it. The ring, on the other hand, is the ring of respawn, which is used to teleport to locations when you die. So okay. I
guess, yeah.
I think one of the interesting cases for this, specifically on the jewelry front here, these finished jewelry options, is that, again, I don't necessarily know, who's going to need this because it's level 87 Slayer, but enchanting things is actually okay magic XP.
Mm-hmm.
So that's one thing that's there. And, who knows? Maybe there will be some other use for the Jades going forward on that. But there's also huge mithril salvage and medium spiky rune salvage. That is just weird that the rune alks for 24k and the mithril alks for 3k. I guess you're supposed to just disassemble that?
Yeah, I don't know what you're supposed to do with it. Leave it on the ground.
No, you feed it through the spring cleaner.
I was going to say, just leave it on the spring cleaner. Just, free gold.
Dragon dart tips.
They're always handy. They're a good, fast way of fletching.
I'm going to say it used to be good fletching XP, right? I don't know if...
Still pretty good.
Yeah, I don't know where it lands now, but I know it used to be good.
Yeah. But what everybody, I think, wants is the primal stone spirits, as well as the wood
which is
spirits.
Pretty much everything drops. Yeah,
which is the wood spirits up to maple, mahogany, and yew.
This is where we need a soundboard and take a sample, because when was the mining and smithing rework?
2019.
And since 2019, no one ever thought anyone would ever say the words, what we need is more stone spirits.
But we do with 110.
But we do! That's the thing everyone wants.
Oh yeah, when I was mining my ores for 110, I went out and I actually bought stone spirits.
Oh yeah, I've done it before.
Yeah. White berries, 3 to 5 noted. Catava berries, 3 to 5 noted, and 1 to 3 toad flax seeds. Hence why I mentioned earlier that as soon as you guys are 87 Slayer on the Group Ironman, pilgrimages to the Profane Scabarites will be much appreciated for your farmer.
What's the deal with the white berries? I just remember them with a quest.
Super defense.
Oh, that's what it was.
Which following from that is, extreme defense and then overload.
Gotcha. Yep. That's right.
Yeah. Catava?
Yeah.
Necromancy potion?
Oh, that isn't from that.
Ah, is that what they're for?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I couldn't remember what Catava berries for.
Which makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
The Catava price right now is 4,537 on the exchange.
Really?
Yeah.
What's the exchange? I don't remember that. What is that?
What is what?
I said, what's the exchange? I don't remember that. What is that?
It's where you go to make money and you go get things that you need that you just ask for. Also, magic seeds, Siku seeds, and dust runes. I'm okay with this drop table. I think the things that I'm giving the biggest side eye to are the jade items and the mithril and rune items, the salvage.
I mean,
well, everything has salvage these
better,
days, just for breakdown.
Yeah, but mithril at 87 Slayer?
Yeah, but it's 4-noded. That's 75k.
Okay, I'll see the point on that one. Okay, then just the jade stuff is the question mark, I guess.
Yep.
So, I think I'm less perturbed about the drop table than most people. Because I don't think it's bad. Is it bad?
Not to me. I mean, it's...
Like, you're not going to make bank doing these, right?
Wait, no, you got to flax.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, you're not going to make bank doing these. You're not going to get copious amounts of XP, and there's better tasks that you're going to do. So I guess the logical question from that to you Slayer people is that if you were training to 120 right now, would these be on the block list from Laniakea? Or is there another Scabarite that you'd like to kill?
Skip. Definitely skip. Once you have your lens, yippee-doo-wah.
Okay. How about you, Burn?
No, at the moment, there's still a fun little boss with the spectral lens going for 1.7 at the moment. There'll be people out there who do want to buy that who, can't quite get there yet, so there'll be a bit of a market for that. I mean, with the rework of woodcutting coming up, I'm keeping them on there. I'll still do them. They're a nice, easy task. And I think some of these things, while not useful immediately, coming up will... Yeah, we saw that with things like Lord of Bones. It was pretty useless on release, but a couple of months later they released...
in the future for the Jade
Exactly.
stuff.
Yep.
I have to believe in plans.
Yeah, and I mean...
believe in nothing.
You don't believe in the plan?
I don't believe in the plans anymore. I believe in chaos. Chaos theory.
This is
Dr.
Zamarakian.
Malcolm.
He's become a Zamarakian.
Yeah, I mean, that's okay. Jade Bank Criminal Bolts. What do they do? Oh, I got it. I'm looking.
Criminal bolts. Okay, well, now what we got. That might be interesting.
5% chance of triggering Earth's Fury, which stuns the target for 4.8 seconds. No. 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 We went through the necklace and the ring. Jade bracelet is the Flamtar bracelet. When worn, it is entirely possible to build a single temple wall in the Shades of Morton minigame.
Again, something that's reasonable for Iron Man.
Okay. Jade necklace is the Traveler's necklace, which teleports you to the Wizard's Tower, the outpost northwest of West Ardoyan, and south of the Desert Eagle's Eyrie, east of the Dominion Tower. I don't know, folks. I'm trying to find a use for all these Jade things, but I'm not seeing it right now.
And again, as I said, it's not something we may see immediately, but
maybe
going
after.
forward in the future, there may be something coming up, and that's we can't sit there and say, oh, it's all useless, it's all that, because I mean we all said the same about Lord of Bones, and I never bought it early because everyone was telling me how useless it was.
Now it's 700 mil.
Exactly, and I'm saying I could have got that for like 200.
Yeah. But let's be real here. If you're going for 120 Slayer and you already have your spectral lens, I don't think you're doing these because you can get better tasks than a 500
of course,
at best
yeah.
KXP an hour one. So
unless you are looking at leveling up your your wood cutting as well, because I mean those
but isn't
spirits...
that and this will be my last thing? Isn't part of Slayer the idea to have a monster with a single unique ability that drops some specialized things that you might need? Like Aberrant Specters work for
I mean, it
herbs.
kind of used to be, but then...
That's exactly what Slayer should be.
It is what it should be. It is what it used to be. We didn't talk about their special ability.
Yeah, we did. I thought that was the little Scabarite that it spawns that poisons you. Isn't that what it is?
Well, yeah, I guess it is the poison.
Yeah,
okay.
the poison that hits you for over 1k. And... did you have an issue with that?
No.
Oh, okay.
No,
yeah. And see, that's the thing. If you're running Venom Blood or the super anti-poison or what have you, you're not going to notice it. So. Alrighty. Anything else on these bug-looking creatures here?
Yeah. Right now, I give them a C+. But if it was a higher level, it'd probably be an A.
Okay. Yeah. I can see that.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
Do we also need a new source of Carapace in game?
I mean, for what? Do we? I don't know. What do they know? What?
Well, exactly, and that's the other thing. That's what sort of shocked me with those, because Carapace is sort of
level 30 defense armor.
Exactly. So what is coming? What is coming in that fletching / crafting skill that we're not being told about?
Oh, maybe that's it. Maybe the entire thing is all about Carapace. It's about getting somewhere that you can just go and farm Carapace. Maybe that's going to be needed in the in the 110 crafting.
The rework. Yep. And this is what I'm saying, because lately they seem to be bringing out some of these monsters which are dropping things. You go, well, why is that? And then 3 or 4 months later, oh, we need that, and all of a sudden, bang,
Okay.
Maybe they are planning ahead for things like that.
I am on the Carapace bandwagon then. That might be something.
Well, it's really cheap, so let's make some money.
Well, imagine what if you had an ensouled Carapace.
Okay.
Or something to that effect. I don't know, something you mutate with it.
That, yeah.
So,
yep, I am. When I was down there, because as I said, I got 500k note paper, so I was just noting it all and banking it all, and just leaving it there to see what happens in the future.
Yeah, that's probably smart. As our Group Ironman adventures are teaching us, never throw anything away.
Dude, I'm telling you, it's like it's either like. It's like living through a depression and having that mentality, or like, I don't know, what they used to say, like, there was Native American tribes that never wasted any part of the buffalo.
Oh, yeah,
like that's
absolutely.
Like Iron Man. Like, we don't waste no part of the buffalo.
Rumor has it they make good stew with the nose.
I like bison burgers.
All right. Well, I'm going to thank some Patreon supporters before we get into the Premier Club benefits for the next year. So this week I'd like to thank Alaska, Alvaro L, Amos Reed, Anatoly D, Andrew C, Arvid Zell, Bladecom, Brayton K, Chulbura, Cosmic Brownie, Dominic R, Drama Free, Dura Max, Greg T, Guy Lafleur, Hare H, Iskantu, Jade Gizmo, Jason S, Jesse W, Jim M, Lemon Lodge, Luminos, Meriwether, Mongrath, Mr. T, Pernasius, Ricky A, Rippeth, Robbie D, Runestar, Samuel FL, Scott DS, Shirt Pants, Tabby, Targayen, The Naked Captain, The Dabbing Goat, Tim, Ukulele Steve, Woody, Zant, and Zazakon. Big, huge thank you to everybody who's supporting us on Patreon. If you want to learn more what that's about, just head on over to patreon.com/RSBANB. By the time you're hearing this, you will be able to pick up the latest monthly bit. Those are bonus shows, a bonus show we do each and every month. This one's about skilling offhands. Deep dive back into the history of skilling offhands and just what exactly the Runica Tuner and Memory Dowser have done for the definition of a skilling offhand. Tanis Zerdones and myself recorded that one yesterday. Any teasing thoughts that you want to share with the listeners about what we did there?
We covered it from way out to a little detail.
Yeah. And it was a new format of a monthly bit. Normally, we look at multiple things, but this one was just do skilling offhands change the way you train the game? So we went through all of them and said yes, no, maybe so. And then, I'm not going to spoil what the end result was on that, but it was an interesting discussion, and I think it moved me a little bit. So if you want to access that, patreon.com/RSBNB, sign up for as little as $1 a month. We also have a VIP tier. For $3 a month, you'll get a special VIP rank on Discord and a chat channel, as well as high-quality stereo versions of the podcast. We also have an insider tier for $5 a month, where you receive a shout-out on the podcast each and every week. You'll get exclusive access to the outtakes we use for the clip show, and that also gets you the RSBNB Update Christmas card, which, of course, is going to be on the way next month. But with that, big, huge thank you to all of our Patreon members, and as I mentioned at the top of the show, our experienced tier members as well. So thanks so much, everyone.
Thanks, guys.
All right. So, Premier Club 2025. Quick yes or no. Are you buying Premier Club?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll probably leave it on looking at... I like that little pet.
Okay. And that's exactly what... Go ahead.
Sorry, the other thing is, I was talking not so long ago about the Premier tokens. They're a waste of time. Mm-hmm. They've refreshed the Premier token store, so there's going to be more stuff in there. So it's sort of...
There's tons in there.
So it's going to... It makes it worthwhile again for me, because Premier Club's gonna. I'm still on the. I think I had the $9 a month, so $90, $108 as opposed to $140. But I get the extra stuff there, and it's a one-off payment, which I like.
Okay. You get the outfit. You can see the outfit previewed on the news post. It'll be linked in the show notes over at update.show. There's also a new emote with that, a new pet. Obviously desert themed, given where we're going in the next year. So just take note of that. Of course, being desert themed, the pet is a cat. And there's also a new teleport animation as well of the desert sun. That looks interesting, I think.
Yeah, I think this is going on my Iron Man.
Okay.
My Group Ironman.
The weekly boss instance has been made a daily instance as well. And, of course, keep in mind you get things like the increased bank space, the loyalty points, Premier Vault, Premier Artifact, the monthly drops, daily additional keys.
No.
Not on your Iron character.
But, no, I don't think you get the keys. The keys aren't there this year.
Well... They said it's the 30 days of double daily keys that you do not get. You still get the extra 3 keys. Or you still get the extra key per day, rather.
Oh, you clarified that. That's good to clarify. Because when I thought they were getting rid of the extra keys,
no.
I'm like, damn,
it's the additional daily key is still there. It's just you don't get the 30 days.
That was a lot of value actually added. That was like value added.
And you know what my favorite thing to do with that was get Premier Club when the Santa's Grotto started.
Oh, yeah.
Because we know that's a very lucrative treasure hunter promo.
Yeah.
So, I want to also just quickly thumb through the token reward shop, which I think was needed because what we had before was just a menu in game when you use one of these tokens, which was not the best experience, I will say. So I'm glad they did make that change with that. I also think it's just good to, in general, have that because this is a store that can be updated seemingly easier than what we had before. Because I'm struggling to remember when the last time we got a new Premier token items was before this year. I think it's been a long time. So, anything in particular you guys are interested in based on what we got in the tokens or in the store?
I have to take a closer look, really.
Yeah, I was going to say, I'm happy that they've
yeah.
got stuff in there, and I'll want to get in there, have a look at them, and so. I mean, everyone knows me. I like to just unlock things, even if I don't use them.
I like the Holy Knight armor override, which apparently I don't have because it's green.
Mm-hmm.
You know, there's other things in here like Umbral Necronium outfit as well, which is I think that's a new addition. It's hard to tell what is in effect new here, but it's not just outfits. There's also sections for weapons, pets, animations, and other things as well.
Yep.
Other things include the various skin colors, Umbral cosmetic packs. Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, I don't really know what that is.
It just gives you the Umbral the Umbral wings, and the Umbral Great Axe cosmetic overrides. That's really all that it is.
Okay.
Yeah. And then there's one that gives you the bow, cloak, and staff. Pet wise, we got the Fremenic Hunter's friend, which is a bird-like thing that you can pick up. We also have the Bjorn pet as well. So
Bjorn?
Yeah.
Bjorn?
Yeah, Bjorn. BJORN with the 2 dots on the O. And
is that like an accent or something?
Yeah, I think so. I'm not exactly sure how to pronounce it. Yeah. Snowman head, ice masks, but overall the marketplace is full and it's a lot easier to see rather than just having to go to the wiki and pull something up and hope that you're gonna like it when you get it. So let's talk about cost now that we've talked about what's in there.
Mm-hmm.
$99.48 US, $77.88 Great British pounds, €89.88 euros, $129.53 Canadian, and $143.93 Australian. So going forward, Zerdones has actually crunched some numbers here for us. If you look at the 2019 unadjusted prices and then adjust them for inflation for the 12-month membership and Premier Club, the 2025 Premier Club is actually still cheaper than the adjusted price for the 2019 membership. So it didn't go up.
Except in Australia.
Yeah. Oh, and Canada.
Oh, yeah, in Canada. Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, which makes sense. Our currency is not as strong as the American dollar, and it would make sense that the Great British Pound, US dollar, and euro are more kind of in tune with what Jagex index is to because of just the way the business runs. So,
of course, yeah.
Effectively,
and Australians are used to paying more than everyone else for things anyway.
Yeah, we are too, unfortunately. What this effectively boils down to is that 2025 Premier Club is cheaper than a non-Premier 12-month membership in 2018, adjusted for inflation, which holds true in Australia, Canada, Great Britain, the euro currency, and US dollars, which is all they reported when the prices changed in 2018. In unadjusted dollars, though, it's still cheaper for the US, $99.99 in 2018 versus $99.48 in 2025. So just a teeny tiny bit there, and very nearly even for the euro is what Zerdones came up with on that. So if you have been buying Premier Club going back to 2019 and you're paying in US dollars or euros or pounds, it's actually a good deal here. But for me, if I can compare this back to my $5 plan, I think Premier Club last year netted out to around $6.67 when you looked at it. But if you do the exact same thing here for this year and you split that into 12, we're up to $8.29 for this US compared to $6.67 last year.
But then the monthly membership price went up, so it probably
this is half the price.
For extra. Right. I mean, if I was on a $5 a month plan, I definitely wouldn't be getting Premier.
Right, and that's the argument, and that's the argument that I make for myself. At $129.53, that's $10.79 a month compared to my $5 Canadian plan. So
exactly,
yeah.
Whereas if you're putting it onto your Ironman account, which doesn't have that $5 thing, well, it's
a bargain.
Yeah,
it's a bargain. So, I mean, everybody's going to need to look at their own situations and where they're at with grandfathered member fees and, whether or not you like the pay once aspect of it and all the things that you get for it. I know when I was doing 120 archaeology in particular, I was using that Premier artifact every day. And anytime I'm doing heavy PVM, I use that Premier artifact every day.
Premier artifact.
Yeah, the Premier artifact.
Do we get?
Yeah, the Irons do get the Premier artifact.
Ooh.
Yeah. And what that does for you, we don't get the XP boost. We do get one free aura reset, which can be used with any of the other buffs, and that's what I mainly use. There's also a 50% chance to act like a sign of the porter for 1 hour, which takes priority over active signs in the Grace of the Elves. And there's also a 20% increased hit chance to enemies below 15% health. Does not work in PvP. I don't know anybody who uses the increased hit chance one, but the Porter one is amazing, as is the Aura Reset, and those can be used on our Group Iron characters. I've heard of people doing Jack of Trades Aura and then resetting with the Premier Artifact.
I keep forgetting that aura.
Yeah. So that's the thing. That's a reason to get it. And I know you guys were looking at porters last night, and we're not entirely there yet. Well, here you are.
Yeah, no, that's definitely going to be helpful. Yeah.
So. Or no, is the Premier Artifact included in this? It's not in the post, is it? Or no, it is. Never mind, it is. It is. I didn't know if I read over it. I got scared for a minute. All right. So what's the verdict now that we've gone through it?
Well,
I mean, it's still good value. It's not as good a value as last time, but it's still decent value.
Yeah, it got a lot better when clarified that you didn't lose the extra daily key. That was a concern.
See, keys don't bother me anymore because at 200 mil all, the majority of the rewards are XP rewards or the new unstable proteans. So that doesn't bother me so much, and it's a shame that you can't save the 3 because you have to use the 3 every day, otherwise you don't get them the next day. Test that. So I can't save them up for when they have those good cosmetic rewards that I'm after. But then I just I can just transfer everything into oddments, so I can sort of buy a 15 keys a day when those come up. So it's in there. I mean, as I said, not as good as previous.
It's such a compelling argument, even for the main with the Premier artifact and that extra key. Just how that enabled me to do so much more PVM when Sanctum came out, for example.
Yep.
Because I would have run out of aura refreshes with the amount of time I spent down there.
Oh, that's it.
So, maybe I've convinced myself, because it's definitely a good value for the Ironman if I'm continuing that beyond the 3 months.
Yeah, I've been looking at that, and the fun that I'm having, I'm just going to chuck a Premier Club on it now because it has been fun.
Yep.
I think I'll get a good year's entertainment out of it. I think we've got a good group together. I was chatting to a girl last night when we were wood cutting. She's already had 2 of her people drop out, and she's really disappointed because she's loving it. But so she said, oh, if you know of anyone who's looking for someone, I'll swap over. But but that's the thing. I mean, I think we're going to be seeing a bit of that as people drop out. There'll be sort of people amalgamating groups and things.
After the competitive part, that'll be a lot easier probably for movement. But
yeah.
Well, no, we could downgrade to regular at any time. It's just that competitive gives us a nice badge and a nice spot on the high scores.
Well, yeah, but I mean...
And the competitive is fun, even though we're not racing for it all. It's still fun to sort of see those achievements and who gets there and how much longer it takes us to get there to everyone else.
Yeah. Well, I think I've convinced myself that I'll probably get it on my main again. And if the iron continues beyond the 3 months, probably that too. I mean, as enticing as $5 a month is, I like the aura reset, and I like the key.
Yeah.
Actually, maybe I don't like the key. I don't know, but I definitely like the aura resets.
Keys for oddments.
Yeah, I mean, I'll probably just do the iron really because that's what I'll be playing, but. But keys are still a value, even though like I wouldn't be using them. I still look at it as, if they're offering it, that's value. So if it hadn't been there, I would have looked at it as they were taking value away from the package.
And I think as well, moving the boss instance to daily is a good call, as well as just refreshing the store. Which I understand. This isn't what I think a lot of people wanted in it, offering, guaranteed rune metrics or past cosmetics from a previous treasure hunter year, like I mentioned when we were talking about adding value to Premier. I think that, overall they heard the calls that there needs to be just a little bit more value than we had the past couple of years on it. So,
yeah.
I still want to go back to year 1.
Yeah, that was a good one. Free legendary pet.
Yeah, free legendary pet, free 2,000 rune coins. We were set.
All right. We've been kind of dancing around this subject already. So, what have we been doing in our Group Ironman adventures?
Sorry, if I can just jump in before we do. They also have a humble bundle up on offer.
Oh yeah, that was the other thing that I should have mentioned this week.
Which I've jumped on and had a look at it because I used to have humble bundles, so it gets sent to me all the time anyway. For me, for Australian dollars, $15, I can get Ode of the Devourer. It's a 1-month membership. 200 rune coins, 50 keys, 2 umbral chests, 6 medium proteum packs, a scorpion pet, a Devourer Scimitar, and a Devourer Shield, all for $15. Now, if I up that to 30, they throw in an extra 4 knowledge bombs as well. So these packs are pretty good.
Yeah. Pet. I hear. I still.
It's a scorpion pet in sort of blue with that nice glowy.
That's kind of cool.
It really looks good. So
man.
yeah, I mean the
or the
Proteans,
100 keys,
chests,
Tannis.
It's 50 keys and 200 rune coins. I mean, for $15, I'm going to be grabbing this. I mean, the 1 month membership does nothing for me because I'll be getting the other thing. But hey, when it runs out, well, it's there. So maybe next year. But just for $15, just the rune coins, the 50 keys, the pet, and the scimitar and shield overrides are well worth it.
When do you use a melee weapon though? That's one-handed.
Sometimes when I'm
slaying. Don't you, Shane?
I haven't touched melee since Necromancy came out.
Yeah, I still sometimes throw it on with when I'm sort of just doing a basic Slayer run.
Okay.
Although I generally use my scythe then anyway. So, but
yeah, I like the way that the pet and overrides look. It is actually really nice. So I'll give the art team that. Also, another reason to buy this bundle. This bundle supports special effect.
Yes.
Oh, no shit. Cool.
Yep.
Yeah.
And what you can do with it is that you can do the default donation, which for me right now is $9 to Jagex, 70 cents to special effect, and $4.17 to Humble. Or you can go extra to charity, or if you really wanted to, you could, in effect, make it so that it all goes to special effect.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. And the minimum for that would be Canadian dollars $2.10 to Humble, and the maximum would be $11.82 to special effect, with none going to Jagex. So you can, in effect, just choose, split it right down the middle, which one you want to go for.
Well,
so that's a neat thing you can do
cool.
with Humble as well. 12 days left on this here. So. And I know we've talked about special effects so many times before. And Tannis, you've worked with them before, right? Or talked to their CEO, was it, or something?
Yeah.
Yeah. They're the charity that enables gamers to play games who have special needs disabilities. So something very close to your heart, Tannis.
Yes, absolutely.
All right, thank you, Pern,
bundle.
Thank you, Pern, for bringing that up. I knew I was forgetting something this week when I was building the rundown.
Just because it always goes to charity on those things.
Yeah, it's good to mention. I want to start with what you've been doing and your killing spree last night.
Okay, I want better armor as I'm moving up through Slayer. I'm starting to get to creatures that are sort of starting to hit me a bit harder now. So I've moved up to, chasing tier 50 necromancy armor. So had 50 necromancy, 50 defense. So headed down to Killy, got the new task there, which was an apple pie, 75 demon souls, and necromancy flippers from Mogers. So went and did the little mini quest so I could kill Mogers. Sitting down there, I said, my magic is low, these are easy to kill, so slapped on the magic gear. I was level 47 magic and sat there all last night killing these things, got myself to 51 magic. Got sick of that. So, okay, I'm taking a break. There's something going on here. So went and did other stuff and then jumped back on this morning and went from 51 to 53 magic and still no necromancy flippers. I'm going, what the bloody hell's going on? I'm getting all these rare drops of the regular flippers and the hat and the crunchy tokens and everything. Logged on to jump on the podcast. Thaxi comes in and says, hey, Pern, while you're killing those Mogers, did you realise you need to be doing it via necromancy to get the necromancy flippers? So I thought, I forgot all about that. Chucked on the necromancy gear, loaded up with some food, went down there thinking, okay, it's going to take me another half hour. Killed one and got the flipper's first kill.
Boom.
So I can't complain. I did raise. I went 6 or 7 levels in my magic to get it closer to the 55 for what's it called. But oh my god, it was like, and I knew it. I knew I had to use necromancy, but I just didn't think about it. I went back and talked to Killy 3 times just to make sure that
because that's
I'd
what I
done
told
it right.
you the problem likely was.
I made sure that I had the pot and the note. They said you don't need the note, the list, but I had that in there and going through. I'm going, what? I said, I thought they were just paying me back for getting I got 2 pets earlier this week. I thought that I got the divination pet at 18k and the woodcutting pet at 24k. I thought they were just paying me back for my luck on the pets there. They go, we're just not going to give you this, but no. So that's basically been me this week. Yeah, my pet luck is still going.
How is the stat push been? What are you specifically going for aside from the combat stuff?
At the moment, I'm just trying. I want to get everything to level 50, so it's nice even. That good mid range, I can do sort of a lot of things. Doing a lot of quests. I'm at 127 quest points. I try and knock out 3 or 4 quests every night. But at the moment, it's just leveling pretty much everything. I've got to get back to my fort because I want to get the kitchen going there so I can do my cooking there, because we get the that bonus XP off Asta when we do work in the fort itself. So I want to do that.
Yeah, I think we underestimated when the fort came out how important that was going to be for anybody leveling up.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, that and Menaphos. I mean, they're both fantastic places. The fort's your good one for low level. Your Menaphos is great for mid level, and then we have Prif for high level. So, it's all good. I have no issues with either of them. So, but we'll just wait and see.
Okay.
Love it. I love it.
Yeah. What about you, Tanis? How has it been going?
It's been going great. This is what I needed. People told me for years, like, oh, you should play an Iron Man. Oh, you'd really like an Iron Man. Oh, I think you'd like Iron Man. I'm like, yeah, I like XP too, though,
You like your microtransactions.
They were totally right, though. I really like this. This has been so fun. Yeah, I do like the added benefit of, since I'm playing with you guys, we can help each other, through the whole thing. Like if someone's better at one thing, or if someone has already done something, like it's that's I don't know, that's the fun thing, and then to watch things kind of go kind of go through a circle, we had someone, that's like, hey, I'm gonna get some porters. That's awesome.
And I had gems
while I'm working on them. Mm-hmm. So, and then now I've got which I've used porters to get the fish that I'm gonna cook, that you guys will then be using for combats. I kind of love it, right? Like, it's just, I don't know, it's kind of cool.
Yeah, the fish you've been cooking has helped me out greatly, because I'm not at that level yet in my cooking. So, yeah, it's been really good. I got smithing to 50 first, so I was able to make everyone weapons. Tools. Just that helping out. And I mean, Thaxi needed a shark earlier, and because of my 7 levels at Mogas, I had a bunch of sharks that I'd gotten off there. I was able to throw some sharks in there for that type of thing.
Dude, that was so lucky. Yeah, I needed one of them. Too, and I've even done some. I don't particularly like doing quests.
Well, I told you 50 quest points for the 250k from Meg. So
Yeah, unfortunately, a lot of the quests I ended up doing because I was like, oh, okay, I need to do this one, I need to do this one.
Yeah, like the
Ended up
entire
being
tree
like
of
one.
requirements.
It ended up being like one quest point. A lot of them. So
Yeah, that's the way it goes,
that's a
honestly,
bummer.
early on. And I mean, it's not
Yeah.
like the end of the world if you like quests, but you're gonna probably have to do it eventually if you want like the way down the road, the accidental fletching and fire making stuff, right? So,
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna. Yeah, now I'm gonna have to do them. It's just a matter of which ones at what times, and um, yeah, I don't. This is the second time. Well, I mean, it's the third time, but the second time I've taken a fresh account through Quest to get to Metaphos, and I've got to say, the more times you do a quest, the easier it gets.
yeah, and our standing out point about all the desert quests being rather bland at the very being the most generous and them just being downright awful, I think still continues even through that desert stuff. So I'm with you on that. On even on
I'm more on the
Metaphors
bland side.
bandwagon. So that's good. That's good. What are you aiming for level wise, Tennis?
So when I first started, I was just like, I just wanted to have fun, play with you guys, cook some food and stuff. Now I'm in it. We're going for 99s. We might be going for max because let's face it, I got the Group Ironman title, right? So,
Yeah.
Now the cape is like, okay, well, you didn't like me when I had my bonus. How you like me now? I got no bonus. I got no grand exchange.
That's okay.
Is
You
this
don't
good
need
enough
that.
for you?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah, but no, I actually I do think that's the one thing I really like about Iron Man is it kind of gives you the permission to do the shit that you want to do. I mean, yes, you have to. Normally, you would have to you'd have to do all of it, but in our situation, like, you can really focus on what you want to do.
Yeah.
Which
Yeah.
I think it's cool.
I'm gonna need I know I'm gonna need a gem bag eventually, for me because I want to I want to get the 80 crafting for invention, and I really think that either some combination of gem mining or dungeoneering crafting is probably the best way to go about crafting for this.
It's gem mining. It's gem mining. I mean, even if you can't.
Yeah, but that's and see that's the thing.
Now.
It's a lot of moving around if you don't have a gem bag, and I don't necessarily know that I want to waste the borders on gems at this stage. It's not as though I mean, I guess we have like the basics, right? Like the basic of basic porters.
Yeah,
like up to Ruby
I can start
and whatnot.
Oh yeah, I mean the lower ones. It's not like they're the best, right? But like ones I was making earlier are number 2s. I think they're 10s. But 10 times 28, that's still 280 spots.
Yeah.
So I mean,
that's 10 trips at the gems.
Yeah.
And for me, we'll do dungeoneering eventually as a group, but it's just it's still dungeoneering.
It's still dungeoneering.
I didn't do my early training in dungeoneering like Faxi did, and I didn't do my early dungeoneering like you did, Burn. I think. So.
Oh no, I basically just unlocked it so I could do level 6s. C6 floors.
Okay.
I haven't actually been back since. But what I also do love is doing my daily challenges when you get the get dungeoneering tokens on those. They love those ones.
We're gonna need to get Viswax for that.
Oh,
I've started doing a little bit of Viswax. I made some Viswax to unlock fast travel on the Lodestone network. It was driving me insane. I really couldn't. I just went to the shops, bought some Viswax, and bought some runes and just unlocked it because it was driving me insane.
Tannis, did you get any skilling pets this week?
No, and I was really looking forward to it, but no. I got that like squid pet or whatever fishing today, but it wasn't the skilling pet.
Okay. Because I got Rocky the mining pet at 78k XP.
Of course you did. I want to see this Iron Man luck. I heard about this Iron Man luck.
But the funny thing is that Pern also got a pet. You got one, right?
I got 2 pets.
Well, what'd you get? 2.
I got the divination pet at 18k, and I got the wood cutting pet at 24k.
Wow. You guys got Iron Man luck.
And didn't Thaxi get 2 as well?
No.
I'm not sure on Thaxi.
Oh, bullshit.
Yeah, I think he got... I know he got Willow, the divination pet, and something else, too. So, I think.
Yeah.
Might be wrong on that.
I mean, he's also... I think he's 75 divination now, too.
Yeah.
People are telling me off, going, "Why are you still training divination? You know, you got it at 17k." And I said, "Yeah, because I'm on an Iron Man and I need
invention."
Invention, yeah. We're all rushing invention, and then it's like we're all rushing invention, and then we have our little offshoot specialty.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it's
Yeah. I came to the sad realization that I'm going to need the botanist outfit from Flash Powder.
There's not an invention.
But we can't do flash powder, can we?
We can get the outfit.
I thought flash powder was one of those ones we couldn't do. That's like, oh well, that's good then. Yeah.
Well, no, we can get it with Thaler even in that case.
Yeah. Yeah. So. Oh yeah, we can unlock that, but yeah, it's just I want to do the activities that give you those outfits.
Yeah. Yeah.
But if you want to, I mean, if we can do flash powder and we want to run some, I'll run with you. Because we won't pickpocket each other like the other assholes in there do.
Yeah, we'll wait and see, and I'll double check that in particular with that if it's Thaler, if we can actually do it with Flash Powder. But for me, I've just been working on the invention skills this week, smithing gradually, which means mining, crafting, which also means mining, and a little bit of divination. On the side too. I am closing in on 50 quest points. I'm actually lagging behind on the quest points because my money has actually come from thieving in Menaphos.
I cannot find that little bastard. Tell us, Shane, how
just
do you
do
this?
Hop Worlds.
Yeah, it's the Gullible Tourist on the Ports District dock. It's not on every world. You just have to hop worlds until you find one.
When you say dock, you mean where you fish at?
No. Where
the port portal is.
Not the fishing dock, the other one. Where
the port portal is.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one. And then what happens from that is that it's 30 thieving XP whenever you are successful, 30 GP and a modest amount of thieving XP. And there's also a chance for small Menethite gifts, which you can then either open for their loot or you can turn in for reputation. But I've been opening them because they give palm seedlings and palm seeds.
Well, there you go.
And that's how
I was turning them in.
And that's where my GP has come from, and I've made GP a non-issue.
That's awesome. Okay. And now we can say, too, that Shane did get his start from robbing Gullible Tourist in the Port District.
I mean, we were trying to, when this whole thing was starting off, we were wondering, does thieving, have a place here, and it does in terms of money, so there's that aspect of it, and then my push after that will be farming in herblore, which is going to be difficult, I think, especially until we get the herb stuff rolling in, and I'm wondering, do I pick up a seed aside as well and just go kill something like Aqua Knights after leveling Slayer for farming.
Yeah.
Or I can do Het's Oasis.
Yeah, that's what
and just AFK there and stock up the flowers for all the various honeycombs and whatnot too. So there's options, and I haven't really gone down that path yet because, like I said earlier on the show, I was feeling a bit under the weather this week. So I actually have pretty much close to no memory of what I did on RS on Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday. So, yeah. But
yeah, let's not talk Tuesday.
Yeah, no, we won't.
Oh no, sorry, yeah, no. I'm thinking no. Tuesday here was Cup Day, and I was helping my daughter. She's finally got her house, but the tenants have basically destroyed walls and carpets and everything. So we're doing a lot of work there. And with my back, I staggered out of bed on Wednesday, collapsed on the couch, and just played AFK RuneScape with the TV on. Couldn't move. I couldn't even get up and feed myself.
Oh my god! Oh my god! Well,
dinner was 4 slices of dry bread.
Well, I was thinking for American Tuesday, but that's a topic for another show,
yeah.
Of course.
Yeah, that's Wednesday for me, so I wasn't thinking that one.
Yeah, but that's kind of where we're at on the Group Ironman perspective. I want to hunker down for some divination this weekend, in addition to probably getting 50 smithing as well. I've been training them in groups of 10 in terms of the levels for that, and Thaxie's 70-odd divination is really giving me the inspiration to kind of just go for it, because we need invention. It doesn't feel complete until we have it, or maybe we don't need it. I don't know.
It feels like we need it, or it feels like I want it.
Yeah, I thought porters were tied to invention.
No,
but I forgot it was it was just the other way around. So it's just divination. So. But I still want to unlock invention because it's a skill that's there, and
I feel like the earlier you start training with invention, the better off you are.
Well, the more benefit you can get out of it, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
You can get more out of the. If you're already training fishing, if you're already training all the other skills, that's what I remember why unlocking it was so important the last time I went through.
Yeah, and I even made an effort on the skill pier to get it, but that was with Protean Cogs, which of course we don't have here. So, but that's an update on the Group Ironman situation. We're aiming to do a bit more on Group Ironman next week and the week after with our group and other groups. This is kind of just a traditional "what have we been doing" update for each of us, and then we'll go a bit more into the strategy when we got a larger portion of the group on next time. But moving on from that, we do have a few achievements this week. Starting off, we have Frar with 99 Necromancy on November 6th, 120 Invention also for Frar on the 5th, and Arendelle 20 got 200 mil Agility on the 2nd. Congratulations.
And moving on, we have Final Primal with 99 Necromancy on November 2nd. And Alex, 43, had a busy Halloween with 120 Smithing and 120 Mining on October 31st.
Getting ahead of the update, I see.
And continuing on Halloween, we have Ish with 120 Prayer, Samurai Jack with 120 Strength, and Skarek Row with 120 Rune Crafting.
Nicely done, everybody. All right, you guys have a bit of a joint pick for us. Pern has watched it or is going to watch it, and Tanis has read the book. So what do we got?
This one is called Ancient Apocalypse. Second season has just started. It's a show presented by Graham Hancock, who's out of the UK, just talking about sort of civilization during the last ice age, and sort of how. So post 12,000 years ago, when we had the ice age, civilizations in Europe and South America and sort of across the world come out. They very similar storylines of someone arriving on a boat, teaching them things, the pyramids and all that type of stuff. So it's he gets bagged a lot as being a pseudoscientist, but when you listen to sort of the things and his explanations and see sort of some of the evidence yourself, and he talks to sort of other archaeologists and such, and it's just really interesting to see. I mean, he's called a conspiracy theorist by a lot of people on his stuff, but the TV show is really good. I think the first season was 8 episodes. This season is 6 episodes, but concentrates a lot on the Americas. Goes heavily into Easter Island and the all the totems that are there and things. It's just a really interesting show, and it opens your eyes. I mean, you do need to have a bit of an open mind when some of the stuff he talks about, but it's just really interesting, sort of talking about that type of stuff.
Yeah, and 12,000 years ago is considered geologically recent too, and if you go back even further and further than that, it's just absolutely astounding. How much the Earth has changed in terms of its composition, climate patterns, and even how it's been devastated by earthquakes, asteroid impacts, and what have you.
That's it.
And
I mean, the Easter. Sorry, go.
Oh, I was just gonna say, and that is kind of the crux of his argument. And the thing that I don't think is fair is Graham Hancock is evaluated as if he is an archaeologist himself or if he is a geologist himself. He's not. He's an investigative journalist, and that's how he got started on this. But he has met people and interviewed people like Randall Carlson, like other people that are geologists. I'm Robert
and studied
Shaw,
himself
and studying himself, right? And so. People that like discovered the water erosion on the Sphinx and how that did not match up. And and the crux of the argument being there was probably some kind of impact that the Ice Age didn't end gradually, but was a cataclysmic event.
Oh, interesting.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And just even things like Easter Island, because it's such a small island, what it has. But as he said, for the amount of people that are there to build all these things, it just doesn't make sense. But if you go back further before the Ice Age, when the seas were lower and there would have been more land and such, it's just. Yeah, as I said, I mean, you do have to look at it with an open mind, and some of the stuff sounds a bit outlandish, but a lot of the stuff, if you listen to and sort of, you do a little bit of research yourself, because some of the stuff he says, I was, hang on, and I sort of jump online and I read things and look up things myself, and he's not the crackpot some people try and make him out to be.
No.
And Tannis, you said you read the book or something, right?
Yeah, I was just getting ready to say. So, if you watch the series, you want to get a little bit deeper. The OG classic original book that he put out, it's called Fingerprints of the Gods, and that's the one that really introduces his theory. The other one that I read that I really liked was America Before, and that's where he really talks about the how the ice sheets melting basically at once, and we have geological evidence,
right?
Which is what I think is
really
interesting.
And I mean, from that last ice age, I assume you're talking about the ice sheets over North America melting about 10,000 years ago, give or take. That's the timeline, right?
Exactly, and then you start to add that with everywhere on Earth has a flood myth, as a story, a culture. It didn't come from nowhere. It's there, but once you introduce the idea, there's a worldwide flood, then all of a sudden, the real scientists tune out. But actually, there could have been with an impact.
Like the ice sheet melting over North America has produced some of the most wonderful landscapes in the entire world. that I'm fortunate enough to just have in my backyard, only a few hours away in the Rocky Mountains here.
Well, me too. I mean, we got the Great Lakes.
Yeah, I mean, our continent wouldn't be what it is without that, and you can see where it kind of moves from real science to pseudoscience because, moving through the foothills here in Alberta into the Rocky Mountains, you can still see, even just going along the highway, you can still see evidence from where all those ice sheets retreated, and even in the Rocky Mountains, you can still see that evidence right there today on display. And that's one of the most interesting things, is that unless you're kind of in tune to what to look for in terms of all the different layers of rock and all the different formations that they can leave behind, you don't notice that. But once you've been tuned into that, it's just immediately apparent in that. And then, moving into all the other aspects that this covers, I think this could actually be a really interesting thing for me to look at when it ties into this, because I wasn't actually aware of this.
Yeah, and remember too, when people are talking about an advanced ice age civilization, they're not talking about like advanced, like we have freaking spaceship satellite. Yeah, no, they're talking about maybe they
farming,
had sailing technology or agricultural technology.
Exactly. Building technology, as in, yeah.
And when you think of that, you can wipe. I mean, how easy is that to wipe away in a cataclysm? I mean.
And remember also, I mean, but before that ice age, I mean, how much more of the Earth was exposed? So how much of a lot of these buildings and things? And people were building on shores, so it would have all been underground, underwater.
Yep, and isn't there some crazy statistic like 80% of even the population now is within 100 miles of water or coastline?
Oh yeah, because the life source, not only in the water but in for commerce.
Yeah, so
95% of Australia is along the coastline. I mean, we don't populate the centre.
Yeah. So it's that classic kind of thing where absence of evidence should not be evidence that there was that it's impossible.
Right, but it's an interesting thing to think about in the sense that I'm getting is that the series and book goes into it.
Yeah. Yep. Exactly.
And people, I mean, a lot of people, some of the climate people saying, this dry ice cooling period that he talks about, it's impossible. Nothing would have disappeared. But he's talking rather than thousands of years of it sort of disappearing, that it actually happened just over hundreds of years.
Yeah.
He's just shortening that timeline, which is, totally feasible.
Well, you throw a few tsunamis and a few, fire raining from sky. I mean, we can knock out some numbers of fauna and animals real quick.
Oh, of course.
I forget what the number is when the dinosaurs went bye-bye, what the number of species that went extinct what that was, but it was definitely in the north of 50%. So
that's it. And he's not talking the comet that he's saying hit Earth, sort of that 12,000 years ago to make that drastic change. He's not talking one the size of what happened during
that would
the
have been
Triassic period and such. Exactly, but a decent sized one which just causes enough to sort of start the melt at a sort of rapid rate and things. So yeah, it's very interesting, and it just does make you think. And as I said, if you are going to watch it, go in with an open mind. I mean, some of the stuff does sound a little outlandish, but a lot of 90% of it is feasible. But you can't say one way or the other that which
and keep this in mind. It's a Netflix show. It's not in the science section of the library.
Oh yeah, of course.
So
it is. I mean, he, as Tanner said, he is an investigative journalist who has self-educated himself rather than going to traditional universities and such. But
yeah. All right, good pick of the week.
Of education these days. Yep.
Good pick of the week. That pretty much brings us to the end of the podcast here. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this one. Pick of the week, our our pet discussion and all the Group Ironman goodies along the way, Premier Club, and, of course, the Profane Scabarites and their Carapace.
And my stupidity.
Might be. Yeah, that's a story of all time. But if you want the podcast delivered each and every week, subscribe. Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Pocket Cast, Amazon Music, everywhere, as well as YouTube at youtube.com/RSBANDB, or just visit update.show/subscribe and then click on your favorite podcast listener. That's the best way to get the newest episodes delivered each and every week. But of course, with that being said, thank you both for being here. Anything else before we depart for the week?
That's it.
Nope.
Alrighty then. Well, thanks so much, everybody, for listening, and we'll see you guys next week for another episode of RSBANDB Update. See you then, everyone. Take care.
See ya.
Happy skating all.